Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a beautiful new day. And it's a gorgeous day here in the Enchanted Forest. And it's a beautiful day here in the house and in the studio. And Gabriel and I are just hanging out with all of you. I've just opened up the chat room for Spreaker, so please do come on in and enjoy the show. And come on in and let's chat. Let's have some conversation and talk about, from a mystic's perspective, from everybody's perspective, about, hey, what in the heck is going on right now? And that's the topic of today. And just as I said that, Hugin and Moonin out in the Enchanted Forest just started to really kick it up out there. So I guess they've got a few things to say. I think, in fact, I'm going to go open up the window. Hey, Kimberly Wink, it's good to have you in the studio. There, I cracked open the window a little bit so we can hear all of the creatures out in the Enchanted Forest chime in with us this morning. Here on Exploring Sacred and finding the sacred, in tough times or challenging times, times when we're really called to shine our light. A lot of times we talk about, as practitioners of soul minding, of healing modalities, of whatever it is that we're walking on the path of wellness, on the spiritual side of things. We often talk about needing to shine our light, about needing to share our gifts and our talents. Hihane washte chue. Good morning, Angie. And this morning, I thought it would be fun to get together, as we do every Wednesday morning, and talk about the way that each and every one of you right now is working to, just spread a little kindness and compassion where you are. And talking about the fact that, yes, we're having a human experience, and this can be a very anxious time for all of us with the COVID virus having its way in the world right now. And we're all learning how to walk with it, how to show some more compassion and kindness. What are you doing in your world? What's being done in your part of the world to help bring about some compassion, some sanity to this? Maybe it's going to be a new norm permanently, this new norm of being more neighborly, even though we're supposed to be in something of an isolation. At least here in Michigan we are. We're kind of bound to our homes a little bit more, except for necessary trips out. And thank goodness for all of our wonderful people that are out there doing the daily grind. The cashiers, the stock people, the nurses, the doctors, the medical technicians, the police officers, everybody out there, the janitors that are cleaning all of our buildings, making sure that they're sanitary and spotless of any sort of thing. Thank goodness for all of those people. So salute to everybody who's out there doing what they got to do in the grind, so that the rest of us who are able to stay more at home can do so and stay well. And those that are out there as well have the ability to be well or to get well. So thank you to everybody who's out there doing that already. And Sonia is saying, sadly, my new norm is going out in public and finding a job. Good morning, Carla Jo. Yeah, there are a lot of changes going on for people right now. Hey, Sally. Good to see you in the chat room as well. Hey, Holly Hagan. So what are we doing during this time? A lot of people have asked me this question. So, Dana, what do you think this is all about? What is this? Well, Del, I hope that you're listening and you can chime in on this. This is what I typically say in response to that. And you and I have had many conversations, and I just had a conversation yesterday with Barbara, and one a couple weeks ago with Ivan, Looking Horse, about this being a time of the teaching of Mitakuye Oyasin, or Mitakuye Oyasin. We are all related. And Arval Looking Horse, he talks a lot about this when we're all together at his place or we're at ceremony with him, that the time would come where we need to recognize every living thing, seen and unseen, as our brother, as our sister, as our relative. And we need to walk that way. And Del, I remember you telling me about one of the elders saying to you, if you're going to say those words, mitakuye-oyasin, then you better be walking those words, right? Those are potent words. Mitakuye-oyasin, all my relatives. For me, I believe, at least for in my heart, this is the time of mitakuye-oyasin. We are all related. Those of you that are listening right now, and Sonia, she's out looking for a new job. Maybe you can connect with Sonia and say, hey, maybe this would fit what you're looking for. This is a time to reach out, even when we have to do it digitally or via webinar, being there for one another. Todd and I have thought long and hard about how we can help the people that we typically visit during a given week or a month here. Whether we're going to the Civic Theater in Grand Rapids, or to our massage therapists here in Lowell and Grand Rapids, or to the restaurants that we go to. And we're actively, we're going to get curbside pickup at our favorite restaurants. We're going to continue to schedule. I get my monthly massage every other month with Kathy, and I will buy a gift certificate directly from her and then schedule when she's back in the groove of things. Finding a way to make sure that those that we know that will suffer the greatest financially or companionship, finding ways to reach out. We're active about that right now in this house, reaching out. So if you would like to share what it is that you're doing, that would be great. Nikki, hey, Nikki, good morning, Maggie. I've noticed when I do go out, people do seem to be more kind. I agree with that, Nikki. I do agree with that. And Carla Jo is saying, an old Chinese curse says, may you live in interesting times. These are definitely interesting times. And I believe a wonderful opportunity for us to walk our talk. And that doesn't mean that we can't get frustrated and we can't get sad and we can't get worried and we can't have moments of anger or moments of gloom, because we are also having this human experience in this interesting time. But what it does mean, at least for me, is that maybe we dig down a little bit deeper and we reach out to say, how can I help you? Nikki, up there in the art studio, Heartful Art Studio, one of my favorite places here in Michigan, up in Big Rapids, Michigan. How are you handling having groups of people in? What are you offering for people up there at the Heartful Art Studio? And I know several of you that are listening, you go to the Heartful Art Studio, or you know Nikki. So what are we offering everybody? Kimberly Wink, you are a massage therapist. Maggie, you are a massage therapist. What are you offering in these times? Hey, Katie Battle. And Katie's one of those people that I was talking about earlier. She's a postmaster, right? And the mail keeps going, everybody. And there are people sorting our mail and making sure we get it every day. So hats off to the people like Katie that are doing the grind. Just saying thank you, I think, is one of the most beautiful things we can do right now in this time. Del Marie, you work at Walmart, and I know that you're a little radiating light bulb all over that store. I've been shopping with you enough to know that you are a wonderful person who likes to spread happiness just when you're shopping. How are people reacting to you? How are you reacting to customers? Right? What can we all do? Carla Jo is saying people seem to return smiles more easily. Sally is saying, one thing that I am doing is trying to call 2 older people or more per day from my church to touch base and see how they are doing and give them my phone number to call if they need anything. Plus, giving early feedback to my pastor about the sermon he is writing. That is awesome. I love that. And so Kimberly's saying, I am doing meditation classes over the phone, distant Reiki, sending healing and praying for everyone. Kimberly, how do people get a hold of you if they'd like to join your meditation class over the phone or have some distant Reiki? Please type that in, everybody. Let us know what you're doing. Let's share. This is a community on Wednesday mornings. How are we all helping each other? You know, when we talk like this, when we share, we come up with new ideas. One thing that I believe Americans are absolutely superb at is creativity. I think we are an incredibly creative group of people in this country. And when we share with one another, I think that's when some of the most creative pieces are born. Hey, cousin Corey, how are you? Fantastic. Oh, thank you, Kimberly. Kimberly is sharing her phone number there in the chat room, and you can call and make an appointment with her for a later date for a massage. And you can also register for one of her upcoming meditation classes or distance Reiki for a Reiki session. There are so many things. Nikki Jorgensen up at the wonderful Heartful Art Studio in Big Rapids, Michigan is saying right now, I'm just offering to go, oh, I love that, to go pottery kits. Just locally right now, and thinking of other things I can offer as to-go kits. I love that, pottery to go. How awesome is that? Nikki, will you let people know how maybe they can become part of that up there in your locale until you make it more widespread? Will you type your email address or phone number, how people can get a hold of you? It's good to have you here too, Corey. Maggie is saying, being the voice of calm and reason within my family and friends and radiating light. There you go. I love that. Katie is saying, carriers are limiting their contact with customers in their homes. In the offices, we are wiping down counters, door handles, bathroom sink handles, toilet seats, and handles. There you go. Everybody is just on it. Sonia, I try and get together with a friend for some training sessions with our dogs. Sonia, do you offer private training sessions for dogs? Do you do one-on-one, or are you going to be having groups at your home? I wish I would have trained my dog. Let's just say I didn't. And anyone who has not ever met Sonia, I have met a lot of dog lovers and a lot of dog trainers and animal trainers in my life. Sonia is extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. If you are thinking, hey, maybe this would be a good time to train my dog now that I'm at home with my dog all day long, this dog needs some fetching up, maybe Sonia can help you with that. HeartfulArtStudio.com, and there is a tab for the kits. Nikki, will you do me a big favor? Will you go into the School of Sacred Studies and also on the Exploring Sacred and literally type in your website and let people know what you're doing? Yeah. Okay. And Holly is sharing, I'm sharing information from my naturopath as far as immune boosting practices, as well as caring for 2 elderly parents. You don't, hey, Donna King, morning, cousin. You don't feel qualified at the moment? Too many health issues. Crap-a-diddle. Well, you are extraordinary when it comes to the 4-leggeds, horses, dogs, cats. It's your gifts are incredible to me. Thank you, Nikki, for that. Really, everybody, just post what it is. Sonia, what kind of a job are you looking for? What are you looking to do? Let's just say this. Let's get it out there. Donna King, cousin Donna, you are a flight attendant for American Airlines. What's that like for you? You've got a lot of years as an American Airlines flight attendant, Donna. So what's happening for you as a flight attendant and there at American Airlines that you can share with all of us? Many of my friends, they are travelers. They're kind of wondering what's going on. I'm a member of the American Airlines, right? I have the app and I keep all the miles and all of that kind of thing. And I've been getting great messages from American Airlines and Delta and United. And I wonder, how are they working with their employees? What's going on? What kind of hints can we all share? Hey, Lady Hawk. Good to have you in the house. reaching out and creating community. It's a magnificent thing. I believe that we can do this digitally. We can pick up the phone. We can text one another. Hey, hi, how are you? What's going on? On Sunday, Todd and I were at the tattoo parlor. I still like using that word, right? And my sister Del Marie called. She had some things to share from the elders, the native elders out west. And maybe, Del, you might share what it is that you received from the elders, if you feel like you can share that with everybody this morning. What do our Indigenous elders have to say at this time? Yesterday, when I was speaking with Barbara, and she came on for the first part of a webinar class that I was teaching, she shared that the elders out on the reservation said, don't panic. Don't panic. Keep yourself clear. Keep yourself sacred. Keep yourself balanced. Keep your home sacred. Smudge, clear yourself. Be centered. Do not panic. This too is going to pass. Help one another. Be there for one another. But don't panic. Smudge your home. Take care of your body. Clear your surroundings, right? Stay focused on that. Donna has been a flight attendant for 39 years and counting. That is a long career as a flight attendant. And thank you for doing that work, Donna, because watching people wear weird stuff, I bet you see just about all of it up there in the blue skies, right? Being there for people. Because on top of the normal anxiety that some people have about flying, now there's an added anxiety. And who is it that helps take care of that? That would be the cabin crew, right? That's the flight attendant that takes care of everybody with flight anxiety and now illness anxiety, right? So hats off to everybody. Sonia is saying, probably looking into UPS, USPS, FedEx, Amazon. Well, here in Grand Rapids, Amazon is everywhere and looking for people. Everywhere and looking for people. Donna is saying, due to customer demand and certain country restrictions, including ours, flying us at an all-time low. It's a 50-50 mix. The flights are finally slowing down. Yeah. Sally is saying, I was thinking too about technology, how often we bemoan it, and yet now, how paradoxical that it is now a good vehicle for helping and inspiring one another. Right on. Nikki is asking, I do have a question, and I feel like we talked about it in one of Amantha's classes. What is it with time? I feel like time has slowed to a minimum crawl. I know for me it has forced me to pause and really breathe. Well, for me, when you ask that question, I believe that we've all been given the pause button to be. Things have slowed down because we're not as busy. We've been asked to stay home, not to go to our favorite pubs, restaurants, the theater, gathering places, which means we've all been asked to pause, to take a deep breath. And at first, that pause can be, for me and for many others, can be unnerving. I grew up in a household where we were always on the go. Work, 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 go, 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 go. And now we are being asked to purposefully and consciously slow down. And I believe, when we talk about time and tracks of time, I believe that there are a lot of tracks of time, past, present, future, that are crossing now. Even in our dream time, I think that we're stepping into several tracks of time in our thoughts, thinking about the past. Hopefully we're being present in the moment. That's where we need to be. And some are getting glimpses of what is to come. because we're slowing down. Stop and smell the roses. Yeah. Donna is saying most people are Santa wiping their area, including seat belts, which are never cleaned. All are taking normal, should be everyday precautions. Isn't that fantastic? And I agree with that, Lady Hawk. I feel as though Grandmother Earth is breathing with us. That's how it works in my mind. When we pause and we take a breath, Grandmother breathes with us. The sky breathes with us. Anyone who knows me knows that I have a fascination for the angelic realm, the shining ones. There are lots of names for angels, right? Some even equate them to the Orishas from the African traditions. By whatever name we call the angelic ones, the light beings, the shining ones, the Orishas, the messengers from the celestial realms. One of the most beautiful ancient teachings that I ever received, and I don't even remember where I originally received this, but it's been something that has been repeated by my teachers over time, and I've been studying a long time, angelology, is that even the sky, the blue of the sky is angelic. The very color of the sky, which is the reflection of the oceans and the waters, right? That color blue itself is a vibration. Color is a vibration. Today I'm wearing purple because I love purple, so I'm vibrating purple. Many ancient teachers, philosophers, theosophists, even in the Essene teachings, equate the blue of the sky to the Archangel Saint Michael. That the blue of the sky is active, it is alive, as are the oceans that the sky reflects. Grandmother Earth is alive, right down to the core of her being. Many equate Grandmother Earth to an angelic being, alive, wise, a messenger, a companion, an ally. In my daily meditations, particularly now, when I stop and I think of the vastness of the sky and the magnificence of this blue-green planet that we are living on, both alive, and of course the waters, Mini Wiconi Wakan, the holy life-giving waters, I think about the time that I was up at Standing Rock with my brother Guy Dullknife. Standing Rock, right? The water protectors. And Guy was the Ocheti Sakowin. He was the chief of the Ocheti Sakowin. And every morning after we would gather and people from around the world would come to the sacred fire, one morning in particular that just so stands out in my mind, he rapped on the tent and he said, "Come on, it's time to get up. We're going to go extra early." And he and I sat there and we watched Ampowi Chapki, the morning star woman Venus, rise up over the Cannonball River. It was extraordinary, breathtaking. And he looked at me and he said, "Sister, you know that she's alive. Ampowi Chapki. Ampowi Chapki we. Morning star woman is alive." I said, "Yes, we have a lot of names for her. Venus, the star of love, the morning star." "Yes," he said, "she's alive. And all of those stars up in the sky, they're alive and they're watching us, what we're doing right now. Every one of them is watching us." And I just sat with that for a moment, and he sat with that, and we had our cup of coffee. Oh, it was good coffee that early in the morning, watching the morning star woman rise. And then in silence, we sat and we soaked in the vibration of the color of the morning sky, going from indigo to blue to orange to yellow. And then, as he did every morning, he woke up the camp. Kiktapo, hi hane washte. Get up, it's a beautiful new day. It's a beautiful new day. And we watched people from around the world gather with us around that sacred fire. And that particular morning, there were so many people gathered around that fire from every corner of Grandmother Earth, holding hands around that fire. And as he did every morning, he sang some sacred songs to wake everybody up, get the energy moving, sacred energy moving. He would hand the microphone to me and ask me to say a few words, whatever was on my heart. And as we did every morning, we would have a water ceremony. And later that night, we were sitting around the camp with his wife, Angie, and my nieces and nephews. And he said, "Wasn't it something this morning, sister, seeing all of those people from all over the world coming together?" I said, "It was wonderful watching and feeling." And I said, and to me, one of the most beautiful things that happens every day, Tiblo, is this. Before we begin the water ceremony, you remind everybody, go out there and love one another. Be good to one another. If somebody is struggling, help them. If somebody doesn't understand your language, try to understand their language or find a common language. You'll work it out, but just be good to one another. And remember, those men and women that are shooting the rubber bullets at us, they have families too. They have relatives too. Be good to them too. We're all in this together. For me, it kind of sums up where we all are. And Guy's words, I think, are so important right now. Be good to one another, love one another. You know, my son Dane, he's something else, and his gym is closed, everybody. And anyone who knows Dane knows that he's been lifting weights, powerlifting, doing all that good kind of thing since he was, 15 years old? 15 years now, every day. And his gym is closed. And so every day I have to kind of talk him off of the ledge. What do I do now? Well, there's a whole lot of wood out here in the enchanted forest that could use some cutting and stacking, right? It's okay, son. You're young. It's all going to be all right. The pendulums will swing the other way, but I believe that what we do right now in this moment determines where that pendulum swings, right? Right on, Angie. Stop and appreciate each other. Stop and appreciate one another. All right, Dell. Right, Donna. Yeah, I know. When we were kids, that's all we did. We rode our bikes outside. We got dirty, right? My dad would whistle. He had a hockey whistle, right? Everyone who lives up here in Michigan and Canada, you know what that hockey whistle sounds like. He could do that because he was an old hockey coach and hockey player. And when we heard that, that meant it was time to come home for dinner. Other than that, we were outside all day. Yeah. Chue Dell is sharing, Lady Hawk, I agree. And that being told in our ceremonies, we are learning unity, sacredness of life, and to open our eyes and mind to our natural surroundings, what Unchimaka, Mother Earth, provides for us and how to take care of our environment. We were told she is cleansing herself. She's having a clearing. Isn't it wonderful when we can just stop and take a breath? Because Angie, you're right, it feels a little bit out of control at times right now. But if we can get in control of our own interior castle, of our own insides and our own thoughts, this too shall pass. I was sharing And Orisha, African teaching. Donna, this is a good one because you share the same African ancestry that I do. In the Yoruba tradition of our relatives, Donna, there is a pervasive teaching that says this too is God. This too is God. That is a Yoruba African teaching. And when I first read that like a week ago after a great conversation with my friend Tony Charette about getting on the stick with learning about my African DNA more deeply, I read that and it reminded me of Mother Teresa, right? There in India, in Calcutta. And somebody asked her, how can you do that job? How can you be with those lepers? And Mother Teresa, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here, looked at that person. I believe it was a reporter for a major magazine. She looked at this reporter and said, because when I look into the eyes of that leper, I see the eyes of Jesus looking back at me. Whether we see the eyes of Creator, of the Tunkashalas, Wakantanka, the Buddha, Allah, the Goddess, looking back at us, or a relative looking back at us. I think that's kind of where we are, and it is the return of the white buffalo calf woman teaching alive here on Turtle Island. And that means being kind to the animals, to our four-leggeds, to the winged ones, the creepy crawlers, the swimming ones. Being kind. Cruise ships won't be out in the oceans for a while. Right? So what are we doing with our time that we have? Well, we've been doing a lot of work out here in the Enchanted Forest. I'll be moving some of my physical classes to webinar or moving the dates out. And I know that everyone will support that as best as they can. That's what we're called to do. Angie, what's it like for you at work? You work with a lot of people in Grand Rapids. So what can we do in our home? Maybe you could chime in on this. Oh, Corey is saying, spending more time outside for sure. I'm horseback riding a lot more, which is what you've been wanting to do, cousin. Abrielle is loving it. Yeah. Being with our animals, it gives us time to do that. And they're digging it. They're loving it. Sunshine is a good thing. It's a great good thing. Get out there and get some sunshine on your body and in your lungs. Yeah, Donna, you're also an exercise, conscious exerciser. I was going to say fanatic. Dane's a fanatic. I don't know that you're a fanatic, but you are definitely somebody who loves to exercise. Yeah, absolutely. I got to fake it too, she says, but there are logs to move and leaves to rake and plain old dumbbells to lift. Exactly. Yeah. Holly's saying, thinking of your happy, talkative trees by your back patio, it makes me happy. Yeah, taking care of the tree people out back. Okay, and Angie's saying we have a smaller office. Only about 10 of us here, still connecting to customers just by email and phone. Donna, hey, Donna. Good to have you here. Lots of spring cleaning and distant healing. Yeah. How can we support everyone in the distance? One of the things that keeps cropping up from some of our indigenous elders, at least here in the Americas, Turtle Island, is the idea, the spiritual idea, that everything has a spirit. I believe that to be true. Right down to the spirit of joy, the spirit of happiness, right? The spirit of alcohol, right? Alcohol spirits. Everything has a spirit. Every tree, right? The theme from Pocahontas just came into my mind when I said that. Everything has a spirit, including illness. And some of our indigenous elders have pointed out that there is a spirit that goes with this illness. And the question arises then, are we feeding the spirit of the illness? I say, are we feeding the belly of the beast? right? That's a great book that's out there on addiction and recovery. Feeding the belly of the beast. Are we feeding the belly of the beast? Which wolf are we feeding, right? That's another old teaching, elder teaching. Which wolf are we feeding? Can't fight fire with fire, everybody. That doesn't work. And we may not be able to do it on a massive level, but in our own homes with our own bodies. Anyone who comes to this house knows that we do a lot of smudging with frankincense and myrrh, copal. Usually in this house we smudge with cedar. Not everybody can handle the cedar or the sage, so sometimes we have to mix it up. But in this house we do a lot of cedar. That reminds me, Chue, you should be receiving a package in the mail today or tomorrow of some red willow bark, some conchacha that I harvested and prepared for pipe smoking. That's in the mail, along with some of the smudging Pejutas medicines for you. If you need more, let me know. But smudging our house. But okay, so maybe you're not somebody who can smudge with cedar and sage, frankincense, myrrh, copal. Are there other ways to smudge to keep the energy, the vibration in your home high? Yes, music. Music. What kind of music are you listening to right now? Angry music, depressing music, or uplifting music? What are you watching on TV? Are you glued to Fox News or CNN 24/7? Some people, they get sucked right into the TV or into their tablet. I mean, like sucked right in. Their spirit leaves their body and it gets sucked into the electronic. Turn that off. Do yourself a favor, the animals in your house a favor, and turn that off. It's good to be informed, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that we need a play-by-play of the stock market or of who's tested positive. It's good to be informed, I'm not saying that, but we don't need to get sucked into the belly of the beast. We need to stand in our light, in our positivity, even amidst our own concern. Smudge your house, play good music. Ask the angels, ask the light, ask the holiness to be present, the Holy Spirit, whatever that is for you, to be present in your home and to release any negativity from your home. Open your windows so that the negativity can leave. Let the sun shine in. Go out and get some sun on your body. How are you taking care of your temple right now? How are you taking care of your body? All of it adds up. If we want to radiate some light, some positivity, well, we need a good vehicle with which to do that. So as much as I love Cheetos, and you know this is true, Corey, because I don't know how many Cheetos you and I ate while you were here in Michigan, right? Cheetos and popcorn and all the things that you and I like together, a lot of it, right? I've really taken a look at in the last while, what am I putting into my body so that it operates at optimum health? As above, so below, as without, so within. It's not to say that I'm not eating cheese, popcorn, or Cheetos once in a while, let me just say, right? Slowly boiling water with bay leaves, Carla Joe says, yes. Kali is saying, yes, I have to detach my mom from the TV with a crowbar. Yeah. The birds singing, yes. Yes, the other day, Todd and I just flung open all the windows, turned off the heat in the house, flung open all the windows. I thought, well, if it was good enough for tuberculosis wards, it's good enough for this house. There must be something to it. Fresh air, everybody. Get out and get some. Let some in. It's amazing how good you feel. Visualization works. Contemplation, prayer. I believe prayer is one of the most powerful forces in the universe when it's backed with love. I believe that to be true. Donna is saying so many people are confused at the actual symptoms of this virus. It's also allergy season. People will cough and sneeze, hopefully into tissues or hankies. Please don't panic. And yes, watch comedy, music, lively melodic music, outdoor sounds. Yes. Yeah, the spring bulbs coming up. Yes, Sally. I love that because I was out the other day walking around the school grounds and around the house, looking at the daffodils coming up, looking at the crocuses coming up, and all of that sweet grass that I transplanted out of the medicine garden. I let it grow so that Todd and I could transplant the sweet grass along the sides of the driveway there at the school, so that when Todd cuts the grass once a week, there's the smell of sweet grass for everybody as they're entering into the school. I went to the grocery to buy tulips. I knew you'd love that one, Corey. Tulips in my home has always been one of my favorite things to have in my home. I love tulips. So I went to the store and I bought a beautiful bunch of tulips. Having fresh flowers in the house. Can't grow them right now in Michigan in our yard, but we sure can go get some. We can share them with one another. I got a note from our friends there in Apple Valley, Minnesota, somebody that I utilize when I order flowers for my friend Kelly, saying, hey, if you can't get out to the store to order flowers for a friend to brighten their day, we're happy to deliver them for you. Doesn't have to be fancy. Delivered flowers, how nice is that? Pretty wonderful, I think. Nikki's saying, I was just thinking of an art project with tulips. Well, imagine that, Nikki. Yes, bay leaves are antiseptic. I learned that from our dear friend Carla Joe. You can burn a bay leaf, you can boil bay leaves. It's a natural antiseptic like sage. Burning a little bit of sage, a little bit of cedar, some cedar tea. Lots of things that we can do to uplift our surroundings so we can stay centered and focused and share that with people that maybe are having a little more difficulty in doing so. For some people, it can be really difficult to stay centered. It really can. Dahlias. Oh, I love dahlias. I just love flowers. I planted, I think, last fall, everybody. You'll appreciate this, Holly. Another 200 bulbs around my gardens and the school gardens. I think altogether I have like 500 bulbs waiting to pop up around the grounds. So when all of this is over, everybody can come and just walk around the enchanted forest and smell the flowers. In fact, this weekend, Todd and I were supposed to be in Savannah beginning this evening, Savannah, Georgia. I'm going to go down to Georgia, be in Savannah, go down to my daddy's grave, put a new flag on it. We've had to postpone that because Todd is having another surgery next Thursday. So if you want to send him some good vibes, the surgeon called yesterday and said, your surgery is too important. We cannot postpone it. It needs to be done. So you and your wife need to be here next Thursday. Well, in all of this, we would be, right, not wise to travel when he has to have a surgery in his abdomen next Thursday. So we have opted to stay home. Well, this weekend, Todd and I are going to create another trail out in the enchanted forest. Last weekend, I created the grandmother or the ancestral ceremonial circle. Amantha helped me start that when she was here in the autumn. She told me, gave me some hints about how to properly open it. So by the time school is fully in swing here in a bit, there will be a new hiking trail out back, and the ancestral circle will be open for gatherings, making good use of our time outdoors. right? Watching those bulb. If a bulb can push through the damp darkness of winter, here's another thing that sometimes when I say this, people, it makes them kind of their eyeballs click. Oh, I will, Donna. Thank you for that. I will do that. Post photos of the flowers as they're coming up. Yeah. You know, we're getting ready for the spring equinox. And here on planet Earth, the spring equinox is a time of, for many, not everybody, but for many, it's a time of resurrection, of coming out of the cave, right? This time of the year, as we lead up to the equinox, is a time when we think about, ponder the Garden of Gethsemane. We ponder a time of crucifixion. For me, growing up Catholic, it's the Stations of the Cross, the Passion Play. And then we think about the third day, coming out of the tomb, ascending. This is a time of resurrection. It's the time of the color purple in the Catholic Church. For many, it's the time of Ostara, the goddess. Chime in, Carla Jo. It's the time of renewal here in the Northern Hemisphere. Time of renewal, when things spring up out of the dirt. It's the time of the ceremonies beginning out west. Right now it's the constellation ceremonies. One of the ceremonies that I've been invited to out west is the return of the Thunderers, the return of the Wakians. Constellation ceremony. That's going to be happening. I hope to be there. The return of the Thunder Nation, the thunder showers, the lightning people, the thunder people, clearing, cleansing. We all know what happens when thunder and lightning strikes, right? We're kind of in a natural flow of things. Maybe the question is how are we responding to this flow? Lots going on. It is an interesting time. Are we holding our center, or are we getting swept up and away? Are we waiting for the new growth, or are we helping to plant new growth? Right? Collaborating with. It's a wonderful opportunity to collaborate right now. I love it when the thunderstorms arrive. Always have. My Indian name, my native name, Wakian Towian, Blue Thunder Woman. Ooh, I love sitting out in a lightning storm. Love it. Just something to ponder, to think about. It's a time of renewal. Coming out of the darkness into spring, emergence, ascension, kind of exciting, like the bear out of the cave. I was so happy the other day driving along here in Lowell, there were 2 thunderbirds. I love the thunderbirds here. We call them turkey vultures. I don't call them turkey vultures. I call them thunderbirds because that's what they are. They're thunderbirds. And people will say, oh, those nasty old thunderbirds. Actually, the thunderbird or the turkey vulture is the bird of resurrection because that bird will consume death and regurgitate it. And it is one of the cleanest birds on the planet. It consumes death, it regurgitates it. And if you've ever seen a group of thunderbirds in the morning, it is magnificent. It's also known as the bird of the goddess Isis. In the morning, oh my goodness, at Olivet College, when I would teach there every summer, in the morning, the crack of dawn, there was one space on the campus where in the morning an entire tree is full of thunderbirds facing the direction of the east, of the rising sun, and they hold their wings wide open, facing east, welcoming the new day, absorbing the sun, Amun Ra. Magnificent. Magnificent in their inky blackness, right? All at how we look at things. Makes everything green. I do too, Sonia. They look majestic. Balance is coming. Time to plan out the gardens and release whatever and whoever is no longer needed and whoever no longer needs us. Right, Carla Jo? Donna King is saying uplifting personalities are contagious. Be one. Oh, thank you for taking care of my daddy's gravesite, Donna. I appreciate that. I will be down there in Georgia later in the year, swinging by Alabama to take care of my mother's grave as well. And that's what we do when we get there. We take care of that. Take care of the ancestors. When I go to my daddy's grave, I make sure all of his brothers that are right there, I make sure to clean those up too. Donna and I, we did that together last autumn, cleaning that up, taking care of the ancestors. The ancestors are speaking through us right now, helping us through this. Imagine what our ancestors have been through, everybody. We think having to stay home and be a little bit quarantined, it isn't easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but boy, think about what our ancestors managed to get through. They're standing behind us. They're standing with us right now, each and every one of us. They're there for us, helping us through, to help others get through. All of our ancestors, so that we can help all of our relatives, even the sky relatives. Yeah. Holly saying the thought of you two puttering around. Yeah. Holly's saying, remembering what my grandparents went through gives me strength. Yes, without a doubt. I think about, Corey telling me about my grandma. My grandmother came here from the Netherlands, from Amsterdam, with her parents, my great-grandparents. And I think about the fact that my great-grandfather took 4 voyages from the Netherlands to Ellis Island 4 times just to make sure that the ship was going to be safe before he brought my mother here and Corey's mother, my grandmother and Corey's mother from Amsterdam. My grandpa came here 4 times and back just to make sure that the boat was safe. And then he brought his family, that included Corey's mom and my grandmother, to this country. I think about the war that they lived through in the Netherlands, that many people have lived through war. Think about the wars that my dad and my daddy have lived through, right? We think about that. I think about that, I should say. I think about 9/11 and sitting at the kitchen table at my house in Rockford. My dad, the Sarge, he was one of those people. He worked for the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and he had clearance, military clearance, literally to the Oval Room and the War Room. And I'll never forget the feeling in my gut when my dad got a phone call, even in his retirement age. He received a phone call from the military on 9/11. And I said to him, I got that feeling because I remembered him going to Vietnam. And I said, what's going on, Dad? And he just looked at me and he said, there are already planes in the sky, honey. That's all you need to know. And I remember my dad saying, there are things I've lived through that I'm never going to tell you about because you don't need to know them. Right? I think about that now. I think about what our ancestors have been through. I think about the number of times that my daddy, Billy King, went to war to help take care of his family. And Granny King, how she took care of her family. All of our ancestors are standing behind us from spirit, saying, well, it is the time. Mitakuye Oyasin. We're all related. We're all related. And the diseases, yeah, we're going to get through this. And some people may say I'm a Pollyanna, but I do believe we're going to get through this, and it's going to be a better world, beginning with our own selves. Because this is an opportunity, I believe anyway, for us to be a better friend, a better relative to everything. Everyone. Even the crabby people at the store, they're crabby because they're probably scared. And it all begins right in our own four walls, as they say. And as St. Teresa of Avila would say, within our own interior castle. What are we focusing on? So ask your friends, what is it that they need? All of you that have websites and you are available for long-distance Reiki, long-distance healing, gift certificates, go on the School of Sacred Studies group page and post your website. Let people know what you're doing. Do that. That's one of the things that I can offer. And I'm happy to offer that. If you know a friend that's in need of work, help them look. Help them look. Be there. Corey's saying, I agree with that. It will be better. Cousin Donna's saying, amen. Yeah. I think it's going to be a better place. I love, and Donna, you're typically on the Rome, Italy flight with American Airlines. I love that video of the Italian people singing. Love that. Barbara, my sister Barbara Dolknife, was telling me that she and Uma went up to Hesapa, the Black Hills, after ceremony when the spirits came in and said, go to a sacred place and pray. Be with that land, be with that dirt, be with that soil. And so she and Uma went up to Hesapa. They ended up going up to Preshla because Elk Pass wasn't open. Go to a sacred site. We got a lot of them around here in the United States. Those of you that are listening from wherever you are around Grandmother Earth, go to a sacred place. Be with that land. Be there on that land. Be with those ancestors. Soak in their wisdom. Spend time with your ancestors. If you're in need of some strength and insight, go into meditation, go into prayer, contemplation. Look at your photo albums, digital or physical. Look at your photo albums of your ancestors, of your relatives, and think about their lives. And not only think about what they've been through, think about the strength that they had to get them through. Because you carry that strength, you carry that wisdom, you carry those gifts and talents. Boy, when I look at photo albums of my ancestors right here sitting where I am, I have a photograph of my great-grandmother. She's so cute, Hendrika Spohl, and my grandmother, Getzina Erfman, and my mother, Cornelia Eckert. There she is right there. I have a photograph of my Grandpa King, my daddy. I've got all these relatives, these ancestor photos right here because they remind me of the strength in my blood and bones, the tenacity in my blood and bones, the wisdom in my blood and bones, the compassion in my blood and bones, and I got it from them. And whatever ancestral memory I'm going to hand on to the future relatives yet to come, I want them to be good ones. And whatever way I react, or Donna or Corey, the way that we behave, because we are blood related, the three of us ladies, the way that we look at things or the way that we engage right now with the world, by virtue of the fact that we share the same DNA with others, our DNA is going to inform those that share our DNA of our joy, of our anxiety, of our peacefulness, of our strength. I had a great conversation the other day with my cousin Vicky, Donna's sister. Oh my goodness. There's some tenacity. I love that woman, right? Corey, there's some tenacity right there too. The gifts and the talents, the way you react, you share it with those in your DNA pool. You share it with those whose lives that you share. I love that. I get 2 quick phone calls, one from Del Marie, one from Barbara, sharing with me what the elders out on the reservation have to say. Isn't that wonderful? And then I can share it with all of you because we're all related. All right. With that, everybody, it is great, Donna. It is great. It is a time to do some house cleaning, inside and out, including the fact that I had a really good smoothie this morning. With that, everybody, though, it is at the top of the hour. Thanks for joining me today. And, thanks for holding the light. Hold the light, everybody. That's what we've got to hold, is the light. What kind of light are you going to hold? It's a potent light that you hold and that you shine. Get out there and shine it, everybody, as only you can shine it. Blessings be.